I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business trainer, author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner, and Food Truck 201, Get Off the Truck. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. All this week, I'm going to be talking about writing your business plan. I'm going to cover why you need one, how to write one, and what to include. And then I'm going to invite you to a class on writing a business plan specific for a food truck. And that's going to be held on August 8th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Central Time. Or if you can't make that one, I'm also going to repeat the class on August the 9th at 1 p.m. Central. The link to sign up will be in the description below. So let's cover getting ready to write your business plan. If you look on our group or in any other group, when someone says they need help writing a business plan, what should I do? There's two predominant answers. One says contact SCORE or the SBA, and that's not a bad suggestion. The only major flaw in that will be the financial projections. Those folks generally have little to no food service experience, or if they do, it's in a restaurant. Restaurants are different than food trucks. So when it comes to inventory and sales projections, they're going to be rusty at best and probably not very accurate. Food service has a perishable inventory, so if they're unfamiliar with restaurants, they don't understand how to handle your inventory because we're constantly chasing expiration dates. We buy materials and store it until it's sold or until it has to be thrown away. Whereas other businesses buy materials and they can store it for years because it doesn't go bad. It may go out of fashion, but it certainly doesn't have to be thrown away because it's no longer edible. Sales projections for a food truck are also weather dependent. They are location dependent, certainly, and they can just be wildly unpredictable. Someone with no food truck experience would not know these things or be able to help you as well as someone who has food truck experience and food service experience. The other answer that is given really frequently and is a horrible answer is, hey, just pay someone to do it for you. Every time I see that answer, I just want to scream. Your business is way too important to delegate the single most important document you're ever going to write about your business to a stranger in a far-off land. They have no experience in the industry because, you know what, they're sitting there writing business plans. They have no resources that can be searchable to fill out the important numbers you're going to need. And they don't have the ability to, like drive around town and check out your competition. So here's an example of some of the research that somebody like that would do for you if you paid them. They go anywhere from $40 to $700 to do a business plan. So here is one of the things that they're going to research. They're sitting there, they're typing away on their computer, and they're going to come up to a website that's called IBIS, which is a research company, and they're very well known as a research company. So it's going to pop up on the top of their search when they say, how much do food trucks make? And this particular company is going to say, hey, last year food trucks did $1.2 billion in sales. And that sounds like a whole bunch of money, doesn't it? And then here's another number that IBIS says. They will say there's 35,000 food trucks in the United States of America. Okay, it doesn't sound too bad. There's 350 million people in the U.S. and there's only 35,000 food trucks. That sounds like we got a whole bunch of people we can go out and wait on. Let's do the math. That 35,000 number is a real number. It's not somebody's estimate. It is a real number, and it's based on the data that the IRS releases every year. So if you are filing your taxes, it's going to ask you, if you're a sole proprietor, it's going to ask you to select the code number that represents your industry. For us, that code number is 722330, and that stands for Mobile Food Services. So when somebody punches that number in, the IRS counts it. So that means there are 35,000 people that punched in that number. Now here's the problem. That means that the number is self-identified. So there's going to be a whole bunch of people that picked the wrong number because there are other numbers that sound similar to Mobile Food Services, but it's not the one that applies to us as food trucks. And they may select that one. So they get their numbers categorized somewhere else. So that's a food truck that's not counted in the 35,000. And then, of course, then the opposite happens. Somebody that's not a food trucker is saying that they are. and they've entered in the wrong number. So we'll say that the mistakes wash each other out. So there's a legitimate 35,000 real food trucks out there. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? So let's do a little bit more math. Food truck operator says that the average food truck does $250,000 a year in sales. And I know you're sitting there going, well, I'm not average. You're right. You're not. You actually listen to this podcast. You're part of our group. You read my books. You're not average. You're way above average. And certainly you're going to do way more than $250,000 a year in sales. So let's do the math. And this is going to be something that you're researching $5 or $40 business plan. He ain't going to do. So if we take that $1.2 billion divided by the 35,000 self-identified food truckers, that means on average a food truck does a whopping $34,285.71 in sales. Keyword there is sales, not profit, sales. So 35,000 is a real number. We know that to be a real number. The 1.2 billion cannot possibly be a real number. So now think about an average. If somebody is sitting there and doing the average sales at $34,285, that means there's a whole bunch of people out there that's only doing $100, because you know there's people that are doing way more than $34,000. Now you might think, well, that's not a big deal. No one's going to do the math, and you're probably right. But the banker that you turn that business plan into when you want that loan, they're going to notice that error. They don't have to sit and do the math because they deal with numbers all day long. My mom was a banker. She could look at numbers and tell you what the answer was because she dealt with them all day long. And my mom was in the accounting department at the bank. She knew numbers. When you talk to a loan officer, all they do is deal with numbers. So they'll look at that $1.2 billion divided by 35,000. They're going, wait, that's a low number. They don't have to know it's $34,285.71, but they're going to know it's a low number and they won't need a calculator. So they're looking at your business plan going, well, this is a piece of garbage. On the very first thing they're going to read about, because almost every business plan puts that in their summary of how the food truck business has been growing and it's awesome and plenty of room for more people to get into it. So what is the real number if you want to write something out on your business plan? If you want to make the kind of profits that are going to put a smile on your face, you're going to need to do at least $200,000 in sales. Now again, keyword there is sales, not profit. You have to generate about $200,000 in sales. That is what your business plan must focus on. And it has to focus on what you can do in your area, not what the fake national averages are, and not what somebody typing and saying, yeah, this will be good for you. What the horribly underestimated sales from research do is make you look foolish. So you don't want to ask somebody to write the business plan for you. And there is no amount of research you can do on your own that you can send to them that's going to make it a good business plan. Because think about it. If they're saying, yes, if you'll go around to those restaurants and go around to the other food trucks and send me these synopsises, and they even give you what questions to look at, and you send it to them, all they're doing is plugging those answers into something that's generic. It's not being written to fit your personality, to fit your city, to fit your state. It's just a copy and paste. Here you go, sir. That'll be $600. That research writer doing your business plan, they can't visit the competition. They can't taste the food. They can't notice if the competition's food trucks are fast or if they're friendly. They can't know how many guests you could push through the line. They don't know your cook times. They don't know your food. They don't know your service method. They don't know your storage capacity. They don't know your cooking capacity. They don't know the numbers. You have to feed all that to them. If you're feeding them all those numbers and all that research, just take the time to write your business plan yourself. I promise you, it's not that hard. Click that link in the description. Join the class. And I promise you, if I max out on the number of people I can talk to, I'll set up another class. I'm not one of those fake marketing people that say, yeah, my time is valuable and I have limited time. I'm going to talk to 10 people. I'm going to talk to every single person that joins. And I'm going to help you write a business plan that'll help you make money. Click that link. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're enjoying all the information, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because you know I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.